I have always struggled with self-esteem and self-confidence for as long as I can remember. It's always been a massive thing for me. And I tried to film this the other day. And I did film it. I didn't try, I filmed it. And then I started my yoga course a few days after, and one of the days I ended up in tears because I felt so unconfident and scared. So I was like, do you know what? I need to film this video again to make sure it's really true and clear that yes, I definitely have grown in self-confidence inside me over the past couple of years. However, I still have my struggles, and I think I probably will always have certain struggles because we don't know what situation's coming. But in myself and the way I think day to day is a lot more confident, and it's not as heavy and dark. It's a lot lighter and happier now. So let's go into the 6 tools that have helped me gain confidence over the last couple of years. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Olivia, and I'm creating this little space on the internet to make sure that we all feel less alone in this wild journey called life. I'm here to share my highs and lows and everything in between, so you know that whatever you're going through, you aren't alone. This is a community where we can support each other and navigate life together. So if that sounds like a bit of you, be sure to subscribe and stick along for the journey. So I'm not really going to do them in a particular order because there's not really necessarily an order to it. They all definitely come hand in hand. Without one or the other, I don't think it would have worked as well. The first one I will touch on is meditation and yoga, and I do put them together because I think both mindfulness practices help each other. For me personally, I couldn't really do one without the other because both of them have been such a good way of going inwards and like dealing and seeing what actually is going on inside, instead of feeling like all my issues and all my problems were external things like other people and situations that had happened. It enabled me to go inside and almost take responsibility for what was going on in my mind and be like, okay, well, it's up to me now to change it because I was able to look inside. So meditation, obviously, I'm sitting there for 10 or so minutes with myself. And whilst my mind is busy and my mind will wander, I am focusing my sole focus on what's going on inside, whether I'm drifting off with the thoughts or what. I am there with me, seeing what's happening, and meditation really allowed me to notice what the thoughts I was hearing and just going along with were actually saying. And I was like, whoa, these are not kind. These are not helping me. These are making me feel so small. They are only focusing on telling me the things I'm not, or the things I'm bad at, or things that are wrong with me. It was only negative things, and I didn't realise until I started meditating how much I was out of control of those thoughts. I was surrendering to those thoughts. I was letting those thoughts run the show, and that just led me on a downward spiral, and I just believed all those thoughts, and I thought it was all true, when actually I'm not that bad of a person. Like, I am a really kind person, and I do try my best in life and every day to just be a good person, go out with good intentions and have a kind heart, and that's something to be celebrated. And through meditation, I was able to watch these thoughts happen and be like, I actually don't think these are true. I don't want to believe these anymore, and I don't want to hear them. So through meditation, learning how to control my mind and take it back to the present moment, take it back to where I need to be, or notice when a thought isn't serving me, has really helped me gain self-awareness and self-consciousness to be like, I'm taking control now. I'm not listening to that little voice. I'm writing a new script now. I'm gonna tell myself all the things that I am doing well at the moment. And I'm obviously not perfect, and they're things that I've learned from, but also through rewiring my thought process, I've been able to be like, okay, that didn't go great, you didn't handle that well, but you can learn from that, and going forward you can make yourself into a better person. So I've just been able to become more aware of what's going on in my brain. I've been able to write a new script, and I've been able to gain control back through practicing meditation practice, like coming back to the present moment. I've been able to gain control over my mind, and I can decide what it does, and I can decide what it says now. So definitely meditation's been massive for me, and yoga's just been a life changer for me, because when you're on the mat, you can't really be, in meditation your mind can drift, but in yoga you are focusing on your posture and the body and the breath and the mind, so you really are there. And again, it's just been another amazing way to really go inwards and see what's happening, and how certain moves make my emotions feel, or how certain moves make my body feel, and just like investigate myself a little bit more, and again be able to take more control going on with me, because I'm more aware of what's going on. And through yoga and meditation, I feel like this really was where I started my whole self-help journey, because it showed me that I can be myself and take control of myself and live my own life, instead of something else in my mind telling me how to live or telling me what to think. So yes, definitely mindfulness practices like meditation and yoga really helped to start my self-love and self-confidence journey, because it allowed me to come to me to be able to figure things out, if that makes any sense. The next point I want to touch on is surrounding yourself with supportive people. Now, I never realised how important this was until I realised I didn't have supportive people around me, and I felt that the relationships were giving me lots of anxiety, because I was feeling nervous about what the other people were thinking about me. I felt like I had started to learn more about myself, and I wanted to do other things, but I was worried that these people were thinking I was weird for doing those things, and that they were talking about me, and they didn't really want to hear necessarily all the new things in my life that I was trying. That was a bit boring to them, and it gave me so much anxiety around that relationship. And it's only when I started to get people in my life who celebrated me and who loved me for me, who would openly ask me and openly push me to do these things that I wanted to do, that I was a bit nervous and worried about what other people thought. They were like, no, like, be you, like, you are amazing, trust yourself, go for it, like, I want to hear all about it, and were so positive about me that it made me realise the people that are around you, and I know we hear this a lot, but they really are a big indicator of how you are going to be. Some people were trying to keep me small, trying to keep me the same as what they've always seen me as, and they didn't want me to go necessarily higher than I was. They wanted me to just stay at the level I was. They didn't want me to go out of the box, because that was like weird to them. And these new people that were coming into my life were so excited and was like, I want to hear all about it. You can do it. And they were really positive towards me, and they really pushed me to believe that I was good. And it really has made a massive difference on my confidence, because it's allowed me to realise that being my true self is okay, and it is amazing, and it's okay, and it's safe to be who I am, because they still love me no matter what I will do. And it's not about external people. Like, self-confidence and self-esteem is truly from you within. No one can dictate that from you. You should always be yourself. But for me, when you almost feel like you're being judged to be yourself, that just makes it even more scary to be yourself. So it is so much better to have people around you who want you to be you and who love you to be you. It just makes the world of difference, because like I said, you feel safe to be able to be you. And yes, it's uncomfortable. I didn't want to let go of the relationships that I'd had that weren't making me feel good anymore. One, because I'd had a lot of past history that was great. Like, I did have great times with those people, but also people come in for a season and people come in for your life for a reason. Some stick around for ages and some are just there to teach you a few things, and it is okay to let them go. But also letting them go is scary because one, you're like, well, what if I can't get other relationships like that? What if I'm lonely? And two, like I say, you hold on to the past memories that you have and you feel like you're doing yourself a disservice to let them go when you've had good times. But if those people aren't making you happy, and if those people don't want you to grow, and if those people don't love you for who you genuinely feel you are, it's only going to hold you back. It's actually only going to make your self-esteem and self-confidence lower because you're keeping people around you who want to keep you small, which then means you're going to keep yourself small. So for me, I realised when I finally decided to just let that go, people then came into my life that made me feel 100 times better. It's like I'd opened the door to be like, come and be my friend. And it opened the door to some amazing people, and people that I'd previously been like friends with and things, they came back and were better, like just amazing. And yeah, having people around you who truly love you and want you to be you is such a good help to help you grow your self-esteem, because it's giving you that loving environment and safe environment to be you. So that was another thing that was really big for me and that has really helped my confidence. And this ties in quite nicely with the next one. So the next thing that really helped me was trusting my gut and really listening to myself and what I wanted. I've always tried to just fit in enough not to be seen, so I didn't want to do anything different that would draw attention to me personally. I would just go with the flow of everyone else, listen to what everyone else did, do what everyone else was doing and saying, just so no attention was brought on me. I was kind of invisible. I was there, but just floating along, not doing anything too crazy and not doing anything wrong. So I've always just fitted in enough not to be seen. And it hit me a few months ago that I was like, and this sounds dramatic, but it genuinely has happened. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I think. I don't know where to go in life. I don't know. Because I have always listened and followed to what other people have said and done. I've never listened to myself, never made decisions on my own, because I'd always deemed myself as stupid and worthless, and I'd wired it so much that when decisions had to be made or when things needed to be said, I wouldn't go with what I thought. I would follow and do what I thought was right. I'd say what other people would probably say, or I'd make a decision based on what other people would do. Or if someone asked me like, oh Liv, what do you want to do today? I'd be like, oh, I don't know, what do you fancy doing? I don't mind, we do what you want to do, just because I was so in fear of doing something that one, people wouldn't enjoy, or two, that people would think, well, that's really weird. I couldn't make any decisions on my own. So I'd never listened to myself, I'd never trusted myself, and I never thought for myself. So then when I was going on this self-healing journey, it was a really big and scary realisation for me that I just didn't know myself. So slowly, through the meditation and yoga and things like that, I've been trying to like listen to my body, and when situations happen, I've been trying to listen to what my feelings are saying, what my gut is telling me. And certain situations I would start saying no to. I've always been a yes person, I'll do everything for you. And certain things I'd be like, I don't want to do that. I was like trying to put myself a little bit more first, because I've always put other people first, and it was so uncomfortable, and still to this day it is uncomfortable. But because I've done multiple little things, like saying no to doing things, I don't drink anymore. That was a really big thing. That would scare me, that people wouldn't like me for that anymore. It's fine. If you have people around you who love you, they don't care if you want to drink or not. So I don't drink anymore, but that was a really big thing to start saying, like, oh no, I don't drink anymore, or like I'm alright for a glass of wine. Like things like that, I've started to be like, do I want to do that? And if I feel like no, I will say no now. And yes, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but each time I'm doing that, I'm building up some evidence in my brain somewhere to be like, oh, you just listen to yourself, you just did what you want. Like, you're here for me, I'm here for me. And that little bit of evidence has built up so many times now. I'm not so scared to go off my own instinct and say what I really mean and do what I want to do. And it's been amazing for me. The confidence has just boosted up because I'm actually listening to myself. I was constantly before basically telling myself to shut up and like, why would anyone want to listen to you? You don't even want to listen to you. And obviously that's going to make my self-confidence and self-esteem feel like shit. But now, because I'm listening to myself and I'm putting myself first a little bit more and I'm trusting what my gut is telling me and I go with my gut, I'm basically telling myself, yeah, you know what you're doing, like, you go for it, you do it, I'm proud of you, I'm here for you. And it's just built my confidence up so much. Obviously I'm still a kind person, I do other things for other people that makes me feel good, but equally when you're doing that all the time and not giving yourself anything, you can't keep giving to other people if you don't even know how to give to yourself, because how does that work? You don't have that skill. So yeah, trusting my gut and listening to myself has been a massive confidence booster for me. Okay, the next one, which might sound a bit crazy, but it's massive for me, personally for me, which is getting enough good sleep. I don't know about anyone else, but if I am exhausted, my emotions, my hormones, my mood, everything goes to pot. Like, I have no control over my mind when I'm tired, and the voices in my head that I've worked so hard to like be like, that's not true, we don't listen to that anymore. When I'm tired, I can't not listen to that because I don't have the energy to control it and be like, you're wrong, I'm right, blah, blah, blah. I just am like, I'm so tired. And then I just feel so rubbish about myself. And equally, if I'm so tired, all the things that I like to get done in my day, and I like to feel productive, and I like to go to the gym, and I like to eat healthy, when I'm tired, I don't want to do those things. It's so much harder. The effort is just not there and I can't do it, which then also leads me to a point where I'm like, oh, you can't even do this. Like, you're rubbish, you're worthless, you can't even go to the gym today. But it's because I'm tired, and then because I can't control those thoughts, I just go into a downward spiral and my confidence will hit rock bottom. So I have to, for me personally, I have to make sure I get a good night's sleep, because when I'm well rested, I'm ready for the day, I'm excited for the day, I want to be productive, I want to eat healthily, and all those things help me feel good and they help me build my confidence up. Going to the gym and doing a great workout helps me feel good about myself. Doing good at my job throughout the day helps me feel good about myself, and it helps build my confidence up. So if I'm not getting good sleep and I'm continuously feeling tired and continuously not being able to control my thoughts and continuously not being able to do the things throughout the day, it really has a knock-on effect of my confidence. The sleep you get is the start of everything else in your life, I'd say. Because if you are so tired all the time, everything is harder. So yeah, getting good sleep is a great one for me. And the next one I'm going to talk about is pushing myself out my comfort zone and doing hard things. And the way I started doing this, which you might not want to hear, but trust me on my story around this, was starting with the cold water exposure that me and my boyfriend do every single morning. Now, the reason this ties in is because when I wake up in the morning in my cozy bed thinking I've got to go down and get into cold water now for the next few minutes is horrible. I don't want to do it most of the time, but each morning I get in and I do it. I push myself when my voice in my head is telling me, no, don't do it, it's too hard, you won't be able to do it, just stay in your comfort zone, don't push yourself further, don't do hard things, stay here. Like, I'm getting in. And I get in and I push through the noise of the voice in my head. And sometimes I will even do longer than what I think I can do, even when my body is screaming at me to get out, that I can't do it, that I don't want to do it, it's too hard. I push myself to carry on. And through doing that every single morning, I have built up evidence within the first half an hour to an hour of waking up that I can do hard things and I can do more than I ever thought I could. And it's really trickled into my everyday life, because I'll go throughout my day and something hard might come up and I'll be like, oh, I can't do that. And then I think, I'm like, well, I didn't think I could get in the bath this morning, and I did it, and I did it for longer than I expected. And because I had that evidence in my head, I've been able to be like, you might be able to do this. Like, just give it a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? And it's led me to push myself to do things that I wouldn't necessarily have done a couple of years ago, in fear of not being able to do it, in fear of failing at it, in fear of anything. Whereas now I've like built up enough evidence each time to be like, but you can try. You can try. You've tried this and you've tried that and you've tried that. Nothing bad happened. You can probably do this. Even if I don't succeed at the thing I'm trying, the fact that I chose to put myself through it and show myself that I can try has been such a big confidence booster. That one's been a massive thing for me. This year especially, I've really, at the start of this year, I was like, I'm going to do things that scare me and I'm going to do YouTube. I would have never thought I'd be filming myself and putting it out online for anyone to see. That was scary, but this year I decided I'm doing it and I'm really happy that I did it. Really grateful. Even if people think it's rubbish, I'm really grateful that I showed up for myself and tried myself. And then the last point I'm going to touch on, which has, again, all of them have been amazing, but this one has really opened my mind, is embracing my uniqueness and knowing that one shoe doesn't fit all. As I've mentioned before, I've spent my whole life trying to fit in enough not to be seen and just following the rest of the crowd. And when I started to go on my self-help journey, obviously I read books and I listened to podcasts, and while these amazing people told these incredible stories and I really look up to them, I was holding too much pressure on myself to be like, well, if this worked for them, then it's got to work for me, and if it doesn't work for me and it doesn't help fix me, I am then internally rubbish. I myself, my soul, is worthless. I can't even get better when other people can. And I was holding so much pressure on being able to be like everyone else, basically. I wasn't holding space for me to get better for me. I was trying to get more positive, to be like other people, and we are all completely different. Yes, we share similarities, but nobody has the same moods as me. Nobody has the same system as me. No one has the same mind as me. So how can I expect techniques and tools that someone else has worked on for them to completely change me into a more positive person? It's not possible. And each time I'd read these books and then it wouldn't work out the same for me, and it was just actually making me worse almost. Now, I'm not saying the authors of these books or the people on these podcasts are saying the wrong thing. What they're saying is amazing. What I'm saying is I needed to drop the pressure of feeling like what helped someone else is going to help me. I had to change my thought process towards it, and I had to be like, okay, what this person said is amazing and I really want to try it for me. However, I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. And if it doesn't necessarily work right for me, why don't I take the bits of what they said that I do like, maybe take a few other bits from someone else that I do like, and make something that works for me, make a routine that works for me, make tools that work for me. I hope this is making sense, because this one is a really important one for me, and one that I really want to get through to other people, is the fact that you are different. You have to put in the work to help yourself. It's not easy. It would be great if you could just copy what someone else did and feel great. But even those people had to go through a long journey and a long process, and it's not an overnight thing, and they've had to work on different tools for them, and they've had to figure out what works for personally for them. And you have to do the same. I have to do it. I'm still doing it, and I probably will do it for the rest of my life, because We change, we are constantly evolving, different situations happen, and I will never have it completely figured out, and I'm okay with that because I enjoy learning about myself now. I enjoy exploring myself and finding new things about myself and finding new ways to help myself. I enjoy that, and it will be a forever thing. And all these points I'm talking on today are a forever thing, and they will all change all the time. But just knowing that you are your own person and there will be a specific way for you that might not be the same as someone else is okay. And also what you see on social media and what people even in your day-to-day life tell you is happening and going on, take with a pinch of salt. And I love to see the best in people, but then take away from myself if I don't have that in me. So I'll be like, oh, she's so pretty. You just look so rough. You look so awful today. She looks incredible and you look like this. Do you see what I mean? I would take something positive about them and make it into something negative about me, and that's not okay because we are completely different. And this is something I'm still working on, but having the knowledge inside my head to be like, you're doing that thing again. Remember, no one is the same. You are all different. We're all here for a reason. And it's nice to just have that knowledge to kind of go back to and be like, watch what you're doing there. Don't take yourself down just because you think someone else is great. Let them be great, but you can also be great too. Everyone's great. So yes, I hope this video has made sense, first of all, and I hope it has allowed you to maybe look at the way you may think about yourself and inspire you to take time to get to know you and see what's actually going on with you, what you actually think about you, and yeah, just take time to get to know yourself and work on yourself, because we'll always be working on ourselves, but that's great. That means we constantly are showing love to ourselves. So yeah, I don't have my shit figured out. I still will cry when I feel uncomfortable. And to be fair, I used to not like crying, so that's a really big thing for me. But we get there, and these tools have helped me in this moment. Like I said, that first day of yoga, I was so overwhelmed and anxious about meeting new people that I cried. But the next day, I then, because of all these tools I've learned, was like, right, remember, that was just one day. Everyone's days are different. You will feel different today. Today is a new day, and we're going to go into it with a new, fresh mindset, because you can do things. And the second day, I made myself speak more. I tried to make myself a bit more known because I didn't want to let that first day diminish my whole confidence for the rest of the course. I wanted to be like, no, come on, you can do this. That was a bad day. Yeah, that's fine. You've had a bad day. Everyone has emotions. But today, you're not going to let that scare you. Today, you're going to push yourself harder because you can do it. So yeah, it's just giving me that knowledge. But anyway, I'm going to start rambling now. Always remember to love yourself. Always remember to give yourself a bit of trust and time and care, because you do deserve it. We all deserve it. Have a lovely rest of your week. Keep shining as always, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.